What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Prime Sports World. I'm your host here, Israel Rivera. I'm here with TJ Hopkins and my man Christian Simpson here from the Daily Blitz.blog, ready to break down Week 9 of the NFL season. Guys, how you guys doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm good, man.
Good, cracking over there, TJ. You coughing on something? Y'all good,
Yeah,
man, over there?
yes, water went down the wrong pipe. I'm decent.
Right away down the wrong pipe over
No, it
there.
didn't.
Yes.
You know, he over there fronting. That's all it is.
Hey, you be nice today. You be
See,
nice
am
today.
being
You know,
nice.
this why we as black people can't get ahead because people like him.
Look, TJ Swift, her God, and two white men.
Absolutely. As we break down the Week 9 of the NFL season, as we wrap it up tonight with the big game tonight between the Jets and the Chargers tonight here. Yeah, that should be an eventful one. Yeah, hopefully the Jets, can, convert more third downs than they did the last game against the Giants. Anyways, here. Starting with the first game on the slate, we got the Titans and the Steelers. Titans losing that game 16-20 there down there in Pittsburgh. But a very impressive showing by Will Levis, 22-39, 262 yards, one interception. I mean, it looks like Tennessee's got their quarterback of the future. Kenny Pickett barely scaving by. I mean, he had that one last good drive to march him down the field. But other than that, 19-30, 160 yards, very modest, one touchdown. Pittsburgh got it done a little bit on the ground there with Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. They had 166 yards on the ground. Derrick Henry did his thing, 17 carries, 75 yards, one touchdown early in the first half here. But how do you guys assess this game? I'll start with TJ.
Well, it was. I think it was kind of a quote unquote welcome to the NFL moment for Will Levis. Every game ain't gonna be 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, right? Like that's not gonna be every game. But then again, every defense don't have a TJ Watt lining up across your right tackle, making his life a living hell.
Absolutely.
Like once he learns that he can't float certain passes the way he was that last game against the Steelers, once he learns that certain passes require a little bit more zip than finesse, he'll be fine. Because there was a couple passes he threw that it was like floaters. It was like, I'm just gonna loft this up there and my guy's gonna come down with it. Like, nah, dude, like that's how you get picked off. That's how you get your receiver sent to the hospital, and so on and so forth. That being said, they still had a chance to win this game.
At the end of the game, yeah, absolutely.
Like, but at the end, it's just what I just said. Like that pass to the end zone to win it.
He threw it in between three guys. He was just asking for that pass to get picked off.
Like it's either that or it's like if you're gonna make that pass, one, be sure you can make that pass, and two, that's one of the passes. Hey, you gotta zip that mug getting that. That can't be lofted. That's not a touch pass situation. You gotta.
But we kind of see that a lot with the rookie quarterbacks, right? We saw it with Clayton Tune. We'll get to it when you're coming from Kyle and Christian to know that, and this great segue to Christian. Christian to know that, and obviously you too, you watch college football. These guys, they get away with a lot of stuff. The windows are bigger. They don't close as fast. And a guy like Will Levis, who has a missile for an arm, at Kentucky can fit a ball in three defenders sometimes, but not in the NFL.
Yeah, and that's what we call overthrowing your receiver. Drew Brees was a mastermind at that. He would purposely slightly overthrow the ball, and somehow it would end up in the hands of his intended receiver. But when I look at this game, this was old school Pittsburgh Steelers football on display. They were able to do it with defense, just have Kenny Pickett kind of control things, hit George Pickens here and there down the field. TJ Watt did what TJ Watt does, and like you said, they were able to get that running game going. So this is a nice win for the Steelers, and this kind of keeps them in the thick of things in the AFC North.
Absolutely. And then as we move on to the next game on the slate, it was the Germany game between the Kansas City Chiefs Miami Dolphins here down there in Germany as the Miami Dolphins dropped that one 14-21. This was man, I was very surprised. I thought this might be more of an offensive game. It was more of a better offensive output for the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes 20 of 30, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Pacheco with 16 on the ground, 66 yards, and Tua Tagovailoa really couldn't, get it going like he would or like he wanted to. 193 yards in the air, 1 touchdown. Kind of kept that Kansas City Chiefs secondary kind of kept those wide receivers at bay. Tyreek Hill only 8 catches, 62 yards, 7.8 a catch. Jalen Waddle only 3 catches, 42 yards on the ground, through the air, catching the ball. And then Raheem Mostert with 12 carries, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. And he kind of got that a lot. He kind of got a lot of that, in the third, fourth quarter, a lot of that yardage. Other than that, he was kind of, kind of kept at bay throughout the game. How do you guys assess it? Start with TJ.
Yeah, I woke up early for this game. I'm like, I was
Me
kind
too.
of
I did too.
it's kind
I
of
did too.
disappointed in the like you said, like the lack of offensive fireworks, because while the Chiefs kept that receiving core in check, the Dolphins kept Travis Kelsey in check. Right? Like
No
I
Taylor
didn't.
Swift at the game, baby.
You say no Taylor Swift at the game. Yeah, you're right. But that being said, like I was talking to my brother, my cousins. I'm like, hey, I predicted. I'm like, hey, Tyreek finna go 12 for like 165, and he gonna hit him for 2 touchdowns. Nope, I don't even think he got half of that. Um, it's like it's just it gives credit to the coach that Andy Reid is, right? Like that's just, you want to make this into a track meet. I'm not gonna allow you. That's it. That's all. And what did I say when they played? What did I say, Izzy, when we did the prediction show for this game? I'm like, they can't. The Dolphins are 0 for 3 against the upper echelon. It's kind of hard to take them seriously as contenders now, because you're 6-0 against everybody with a losing record, and you're 0-3 against everybody that can match you tit for tat.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, did
Yeah.
you watch the game?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it, but I love what I saw from the Chiefs defense. They dominated and they rose to the occasion, and they've done that quite a bit this year. And Patrick Mahomes even said, I mean, this is what you expect them to say. The Chiefs have the best defense in the league. His words. I mean, what else is he supposed to say? But Mahomes just kind of controlled things. The Chiefs have kind of changed their offensive philosophy a little bit, because they're depending more on Isaiah Pacheco, Izzy and CJ. They're playing more downhill. What just concerns me about Kansas City is their lack of a second pass catcher. But yeah, TJ, I think, just said it best. In my preview on this game on the site, I said the Dolphins remind me of two teams. One, they remind me of last year's Giants. The Giants could beat everybody that was bad last season, but when it came to play the upper echelon competition, they struggled. They didn't show up. I mean, after all, the Giants went 0-5 combined against the Eagles and Cowboys last year. And then from a football standpoint on the field, they kind of remind me of those Colts teams when Peyton Manning was still quarterbacking them, because they were finesse, they were speed, and once you punch them in the mouth, they folded. You punch this Miami team in the mouth, they don't recover, and that's what Kansas City did yesterday. I've seen a lot of Steve Spagnuolo defenses, and look,
Yeah.
they rose to the occasion yesterday.
Yeah, I want to say this too. I mean, they were able to get 6 quarterback hits on the Miami Dolphins, and that's kind of I want to say that's kind of a story to look at for the offensive line when they go against a really a defensive line that is adequate, like one that has like a Chris Jones or something like that, a good defense. That's kind of their weakness in Miami. In my opinion, I think that getting Devin a Chain, I think you're gonna get a bye week this week, and then getting Devin a Chain back on week 11, I think is gonna help them tremendously down the stretch. But yeah, this is a game in which I would have loved to see Miami win to show that they were actually, a legit contender. But after this game, I kind of feel like they might be a first round exit or a wild card exit if they play, if they run into, a team like not the Ravens, but let's say they run into the Bills or they run into the Bengals or something like that. I don't think they can beat those upper echelon teams in the AFC at all. Moving on to the next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens are shellacking down there in Baltimore as the Seattle Seahawks lose to the Baltimore Ravens 37-3. As Geno Smith has been, not that good not that good this season. He's had an up and down season. 13-28, 157 yards, one interception. They couldn't get the running game going, only 28 yards on the ground. And then on the Baltimore side, Lamar Jackson looking like his MVP self. I mean, when I look at this season, I think he's on par, just right behind his MVP season, but I mean almost as good. 21-26, 187 yards, and on the ground, man, a guy Keaton Mitchell, 9 carries, 138 yards, a touchdown. They might have something down there in Baltimore with Keaton Mitchell. And then shout out to OBJ catching a touchdown on his birthday in this game. But this is a game that the Baltimore defense was just dominant once again against the Seattle Seahawks. TJ.
Real quick, this is why the running back market is the way that it is, because you got a guy like Keaton Mitchell who probably was never heard of until the day outside of wherever he went to college at, and he goes for whatever he went for
138 yards, 9 carries, 138 yards.
He has a career day in his first game, right? That's why the running back market is the way that it is, because a lot of these teams are saying, I don't need a Jonathan Taylor, I don't need a Saquon Barkley, I don't need a Nick Chubb. I can get 2-3 of these guys, and they can do what they just did, right? He can have that kind of game. Baltimore should be 8-0, 9-0. Yeah, they should be 9-0. Like they gifted a win to the Steelers. They gifted a win to who else did they lose to? The Colts. The Colts, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They should be 9-0 because they just out there bullying folks. And then
I'm gonna say this. I think this is the best team in the National Football League right now because of how they're winning games and how they're dominating and how they're putting teams away. And remember, TJ, I would always tell you the one thing that concerned me about the Ravens last season was going into the fourth quarter, having a lead by 10 or more points, and then they blew it. That's out the window right now. They're more mentally tough. And John Harbaugh is bringing the best out of that. This, I think, is his best coaching job. And remember, this is the guy that won Coach of the Year in 2019. Lamar is playing with control. He's playing with poise. And this defense, I think, is one of the 2 or 3 best units in the league because you just don't know what's going to come at you. And Geno Smith got a taste of that, unfortunately, yesterday. This is a huge win for the Ravens.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when you look at the defense, I mean, it's probably one of the, like you said, top 2 or 3 units. I mean, I don't want to say on pace for, how they're some of their Super Bowl championship defenses are, but it's pretty close. Not the first one, but I think the second one that made it again, one recently, Ray Lewis's latter career, pretty close in comparison. They got 2 linebackers in Patrick, in Roquan Smith, Patrick. I mean, those guys are flying sideline to sideline. Jadeveon Clowney is just a beast in the run game. Kyle Van Noy, when they bring pressure, it's a wrap for a lot of teams. So the Ravens are definitely a serious contender. Moving on to the next game, we have the Arizona Cardinals versus the Cleveland Browns. As the Cardinals get shellacked here, 27-0, as Clayton Tune gets his welcome to the NFL. Boy, welcome to the NFL. 11-20, 58 yards, 2 interceptions. He got sacked 7 times by this unit. Just couldn't get anything going. Even lost a fumble. He was had 3 turnovers in this game. And then Deshaun Watson, 19-30, looked crisp, like 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Amari Cooper had a big game at the office, 5 receptions, 139 yards, 1 touchdown. But I think the biggest story of this game is just how good and how elite the Cleveland Browns defense is, even if they're going against the lowly Arizona Cardinals.
This
they've been absolutely incredible this year. And Miles Garrett doesn't have to do it all. Them going against Darius Smith, I think was a sneaky underrated move because of all the attention that Miles commands. Still getting what he wants. I mean, TJ and I talk about how he did a little basketball move before he rushed the quarterback, and I mean, he would have to see me after the game. Look, I don't care how big he is, he gonna have to see me. But no, this Cleveland unit just plays so collectively well together as a football team. They did what they were supposed to do because Cleveland 10 or 15 years ago, they're losing this game.
are they?
Yeah, yeah. They find a way, TJ.
No. This like hold on. Me. This is the worst team to introduce your like. This is the worst team to make your start against. Right? Like, hey, I'm starting. I'm getting my first start this Sunday. Who you playing? The Cleveland Browns. Damn. Um. Yeah, you want to demoralize your young quarterback, Chicago. Start him against the Cleveland Browns. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna no, you're not winning that game. You'd be lucky if you get past the 50-yard line with a first time starting quarterback, especially a rookie. Hey, like, ain't no way in hell you finna sit here and tell me that the Cardinals thought that they was gonna go into that game and win.
Mm-mm.
no, not at all, not at all.
No, not at all. There was no
And
way.
and I think there's anticipation that Kyler Murray might come back, but why? Why
Yeah,
are
they're
you going to come
supposed
back?
to come back this Sunday.
This Sunday,
Yeah,
they already announced
why,
it.
why are you going to come back? You're 1-8. Your team is not good at all. Like, why are you coming back? It's just like just get healthy for next season. If I'm the Cardinals and try and shoot for a high draft pick. I mean, adding a top tier defense offensive lineman. They have so many holes on this team. It's ridiculous. Why risk your franchise quarterback to come back? After
Mm-hmm.
he had, and just for him to get banged up. So don't see why Kyler Murray would come back. But yeah, welcome to the NFL, Clayton Tune. This ain't Houston no more. Moving on to the next game. We got the Rams and my Green Bay Packers as we get off the schneid, baby. 20-3 against these LA Rams. And yes, this was a week of backup quarterbacks, right? Brett Ripien gets his one gets a start, 13-28, has an interception there in the third quarter. Rams couldn't get anything going. Run game couldn't get going. They could, he couldn't find Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua. And that defense of the Green Bay Packers really, stepped it up. But I will say this, Jordan Love had a pretty good game, 20-26, 228 yards, a touchdown. He did get sacked 4 times. Aaron Jones, 20 carries, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. Welcome back. He was, pretty damn good in this game. But I will say this about this offense, man. Still penalties killing me when I'm watching against the Green Bay Packers. It's penalties for me on the offensive line. It's the fact that, a young quarterback's getting sacked 4 times. And then also the turnovers. You fumbled the ball 3 times. You lost 2 of them. You lost 2 of them. You recovered them once. Yeah.
One of them was unforced. Like, Buddy just, like, fumbled himself. Like, he wasn't hit. He ain't get stripped. Like, Buddy, like, what was his name? Dontavian Weeks, I think.
Dontavian Wicks, yeah.
Wicks, he fumbled the ball when nobody touched him, Christian.
He's had Butterfinger since Virginia Tech.
Bro, he caught the ball, made the first down, like, he dove for it, and then he fumbled. And then the Rams player, he literally flipped it to the Rams player. The ball popped out and hit the top of his hand, and, like, Buddy sent his hand, he sent the ball flying right to the Rams defender. And Izzy said it, like, they just weren't able to capitalize off those turnovers. I messaged Izzy in the group. I'm like, yo, this is an easy win. Like, no Matt Stafford. If Matthew Stafford plays, maybe y'all still win. I don't know, but it's not 20-3.
Matthew Stafford plays, we probably loses. Honestly, the way it was going, I was quite like we took off. I mean, the Packers took off in the fourth quarter. I mean, yeah, They were in the red zone. They should have got 14 points in that fourth quarter. They had to settle for a field goal on one time and once in the red zone. And then they actually punched one in, right? But I honestly believe if Matthew Stafford plays, I mean, he plays really well against the Packers. I think they might, the Rams might have a chance to beat the Green Bay Packers. So.
I love what I saw from Green Bay yesterday because they incorporated Aaron Jones and they made him the focal point of this offense. I think if he touches this ball between 15 and 20 times, more so 20 times, they win. And yeah, he didn't have the yards, but that really neutralized Jordan Love's pass attempts. He only threw the ball 26 times, running.
Yes.
They had some type of offensive balance.
Absolutely, and that's all you want, Jordan. Jordan Love, he can't be throwing the football 37 times. Not with this wide receiver core. This is a young wide receiver core. I mean, Luke Musgrave had the lone touchdown, as a tight end. After having multiple weeks. I mean, he was a little bit banged up, kind of a few weeks ago, and kind of getting back healthy again. But I mean, bad season for Christian Watson. I mean, he hasn't really been able to get it going. Romeo Doubs hasn't really been able to get it going. He was hurt. Well, he's hurt for first couple weeks, but he hasn't really been doing anything this past year. I mean, he's dropping balls. He's dropping balls in the end zone. I mean, he dropped another one in the end zone this week. So I mean, it's a young wide receiver core. We could use a couple veterans in this wide receiver core, and maybe an elite wide receiver like Maserati Marv, baby. Anyways, moving on to the next game, we had a thriller down the stretch here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Houston Texans as they drop one 37-39. This was an absolute cinema right here. Baker Mayfield, 21-30, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rachaad White, 20 carries, 73 yards. And then on the other side, C.J. Stroud. Oh, my goodness. If he don't look like a franchise quarterback to you, then you must be a blind man or just the biggest hater in the world. 30 of 42, 470 yards, and 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Basically a perfect game for C.J. Stroud. And a bevy of wide receivers. Dalton Schultz had 10 catches, 130 yards. Noah Brown, 6 catches, 150 yards, and 153 yards and a touchdown. Tank Dell with the game winner at the end. He had 2 touchdowns. 3 guys over 100 yards in this game as Baker Mayfield marched the Bucs down and got that go-ahead touchdown, but he left too much time on the clock for the young gun C.J. Stroud as he marched the ball right down the field and scored a touchdown to win this football game. TJ, I'll start with you first.
I was saying this about Baker Mayfield a week ago, where he can go down and get you a go-ahead and score. Right? He did it. I just didn't expect a defense like the Buccaneers, like the one that they have, where they got game enders on that defense. You got a Vita Vea up front who can wreck shop. You got 2 All-Pro linebackers and Levante David and
Devin White.
You got DBs who can end things. You got Antoine Winfield Jr., who's known to make a play. And they just didn't do it. I don't know. That's the thing with me, bro. Like when teams need a field goal, a go-ahead field goal, or a go-ahead touchdown, I will never understand why they go prevent. Like why?
And not to mention, hey TJ, not to cut you off, but not to mention, this was a game in which the Texans had to play most of the second half without Kawhi Fairbairn, right? So they were going for it every possession. Every time they scored a touchdown, they were going for it for the 2-point conversion.
They going for the 2.
Third and fourth quarter.
And it's like, I don't understand. Like, hey, just play them straight up, right? You've been doing the damn thing so far. Because, like, I'm saying, like, that drive, like, I saw it, like, a lot of it was, hey, we can prevent defense. We just going to try to keep them in front of us. And next thing you know it, they right on top of you. And he zips one in for the go-ahead touchdown. The whole C.J. Stroud is a franchise QB thing. He's him. This is why the NFL is a week-to-week basis and bias, because last week C.J. Stroud was a bum. Remember? They lost to the Panthers. He looked terrible, and it was C.J. Stroud as a bum. He's this, he's that. Now, fast forward a week, he throw for damn near 500 yards, oh, he's him. Like, no, y'all can't keep flip flopping on these young dudes like that. Can't keep doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Draw a line, pick a side, and stay your
And
ass on it.
stay your ass over there.
Seriously, yeah. But nah, man, this is a great win for the Houston Texans. I love the intensity they play with, and they play hard for D'Amico Ryans. I mean, he's one of those coaches where you run through a brick wall for him. I actually knew someone that was at this game. He lives in Houston, and he's a diehard Buccaneers fan. So I know he's probably his cholesterol levels are probably spiked because of how salty he is. But this is a huge win for Houston. CJ Stroud right now looks like he's just running away with Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Absolutely, man. CJ Stroud looks like the real deal, Holyfield. Next game we got on the slate, we got the Chicago Bears going into into the Little Caesar Superdome to face the New Orleans Saints as they drop one 17-24. Tyson Bagent, 18-30, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Dante Foreman, another decent output, 20 carries, 83 yards. Tyson Bagent with 8 carries, 70 yards, as he showed a lot with his legs extending plays. This is a game that the Chicago Bears started off strong in this game. I know TJ kind of mentioned it. I'll talk about the other side. Derek Carr, 25-34, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns. Taysom Hill with the touchdown there in the touchdown pass in the red zone. Also, Taysom Hill was the leading rusher on the day, 11 carries, 52 yards. As the New Orleans Saints beat the Chicago Bears 24-17. But I will say this is another game back to back where I think even the commentator said it. Oh, they finally got a penalty. They finally got a penalty. I think it was late in the fourth quarter. TJ, we was talking about it. Like how you play a whole NFL game and not get one penalty? That doesn't make no sense to me.
And it was a false start, bro. It's like the spot, like it just doesn't make any sense, bro. It's like y'all call somebody for holding one way, and then the other team does the exact same thing, and you don't call it. Like I don't get it. I really don't get it. But you talk about a team literally gifting you opportunity after, like the Saints were giving that game away. Mm-hmm. They were giving that game. We had opportunity after opportunity to go down and tie the game up. And Bagent made it like a personal mission to be like, no, not doing it. Paulson Adebo pretty much got a Pro Bowl nod just off this game alone. He had 2 picks and a forced fumble, and that was just that was like the forced fumble. That was more so on DJ Moore than anything. But it's like, like it's almost like whoa, DJ Moore messed up. He had a blunder. It's like, damn. Okay, we don't see that often. But Chris Collinsworth, can Justin Fields still learn a thing or two from Bagent? I'm asking for a friend. I'm like, what can he learn that what can he learn from trying to throw the ball behind a receiver and getting it picked off? Like what is Fields learning from that? That just goes to show you, shut the hell up. The guy had one good game, and he was barely asked to do anything in that one game. He's a dude, Bagent, the type of quarterback. Like, hey, you can keep him on your roster. He's fine, as long as the game is either tied or we have a lead. You ask him to play from behind, you get what you got this past Sunday.
Man, that touchdown pass Cole Kmet caught, that first one.
Nice. Ooh, that was a thing of beauty.
Man, look, that's what we call grown man football.
That was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, look, like Tyrann Mathieu didn't have a chance. Like he didn't.
He didn't have not one chance. No, he didn't.
Cole Kmet is all of 6'4", 6'5"?
6'6".
6'6". Okay. I'm taking that over a 5'10", 5'9" Tyrann Mathieu all day long.
All day, every day. For a second, I thought the Bears were going to win this game, but they couldn't take care of the ball. So, unfortunately, they beat themselves. And, TJ, I'm with you on this one. I think you know what I'm about to say. Is Tyson Bagent still better than Justin Fields? Because that's what a lot of Bears fans seem to think.
Oh, that question has been asked, and I don't I don't understand. See, like I'm glad he brought up Chris Collinsworth because that's kind of like how a lot of the Bears fans are. That are I don't
Hey,
know, fair weather or whatever the case.
Boomer Esiason, if Tyson Baker keeps playing like this, I don't know how they go back to Justin Fields playing like what?
He ain't done nothing.
Playing losing football. I mean, Tyson Bagent, great story. I mean, you play what D3 Shepherd football. I
Yeah,
mean, that's awesome. You made it to the pros. That's good and all. And you might be a great backup. And I mean, shoot, you might be even a starter one of these days. You might got a lot of the Gardner Minshew in your game a little bit there. But I think Justin Fields is gonna still remain QB1 whenever he's healthy. They would love to have Justin Fields because this is a game that Justin Fields will probably win versus the New
bro.
Orleans Saints. And I'm glad Darnell Mooney had a good game
He did.
this past game.
Saints fans on Twitter and Instagram, they saying like, "Hey, the way we couldn't put them because the Saints didn't put us away, we put ourselves away.
Mm-hmm.
Right, constantly turning the ball over. It was Saints fans legit saying, "Hey, if Fields is playing, we likely lose that game." And they not just
absolutely.
and they not just saying that to be nice or nothing like that. Like hell, Khalil Mack even said that against when we played him. He was like, "Hey, I'm glad because that one play where Tyson Bagent ran the wheel route and they was going to throw it back to him, and Khalil Mack was able to keep up with him. Y'all really want to sit here and say Khalil Mack can keep up with Justin Fields running full speed? No.
You okay?
Okay.
Next game we have on the slate, we got the Minnesota Vikings going into Mercedes-Benz Dome down there in downtown Atlanta to face the Atlanta Falcons as they squeak out a win and have a game-winning drive by a more unlikely quarterback in Josh Dobbs winning 31-28 as he came in here. Basically, he got traded on Tuesday, came in for injured Jaron Hall, the rookie, who didn't make a business decision at the goal line and got knocked out of the game. Josh Dobbs comes in and fills in admirably. 20 of 30, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, runs for 7 carries, 66 yards, and another touchdown on the ground as the Minnesota Vikings win 31-28. Taylor Heineke on the other end, 21 of 38, 268 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception. And the Atlanta Falcons just couldn't get the ground game running, going with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier as they get 110 yards on the ground. Jonnu Smith with the incredible play, showing the Jets there for that 60-yard long touchdown, 5 receptions, 100 yards, and 1 touchdown. But yes, I think the main storyline is Josh Dobbs coming in, only being there for a few days, doesn't even know half his teammates' names, doesn't even know the playbook. Kevin O'Connell's breaking down the plays in mid huddle to Josh Dobbs, and he still comes up with the win in some gutsy plays down the stretch. TJ.
Yeah, it's again, this is one of those fan bases where they just need to shut the hell up if your QB situation ain't better than ours. Right? Falcons fans was talking so much trash about Justin Fields, and Chris, you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. TJ, can I do it again?
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
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 They talk so much shit about Justin Fields, but your situation ain't better, bro. Like, Desmond Ridder is not the guy. Taylor Heineke, we already know what he is. He's not the guy. And y'all let a dude who got traded, like you said, like he literally got there not even a week. It ain't even been a week since Josh Dobbs came and wasn't even expected to play. Come in off the bench, don't even know his teammates' names. Got his cadence call right on the sideline when he got the word that he was going in. And you let him come in, throw for 150 yards in limited action, 2 touchdowns, and win the game. Shut up. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. Don't say shit about Fields. Don't say shit about the Bears. Shut up talking to me. Because you let a dude come in off the pine, ice cold, go down and beat your team. Don't say a word to me. Please don't. And it's you and the Vikings, hey, good win. Way to gut it out, because that could have went south very fast. Right? I don't know why they didn't go with Josh Dobbs in the first place, and maybe that's because he just got there. But Jaron Hall, bro, you got to understand something. You ain't You ain't at BYU no more either. Right? These dudes, they taking your head off. Like,
DBs are taking your head off. It's not just linebackers. And
like the term business decision ain't just a term. Like it's a thing. It's like, hey, I gotta make a business decision. Like I gotta get down. I gotta get down. I gotta live to fight. I gotta live to fight another play.
yeah,
And
I mean, I mean, shoot, even Dak, we'll get to a Dak with trying to, he almost didn't make a business decision either, flipping on his head like that.
yeah, that was
So, I mean, but man, you know what? Honestly, man, this is a hell of a win for Josh Dobbs. I mean, and also, man, I want to say this, man. That dude, man, that dude's got a lot of guts, man. I mean, he made some scrambles where I thought he was going to be sacked, and they were just absolute game. That dude is a football player. It don't matter if he got the playbook with the 3 days to learn it. I mean, that dude
with
is an
this,
absolute football player,
which
man.
kind of makes me wonder because you got to keep in mind before he did all this journeyman stuff, he was in Pittsburgh. He was there. He was with that system, and you got to ask yourself why didn't it work out there? Right? He goes to
Yeah, Mason
Arizona.
Rudolph beat him out.
Like he goes to Arizona. He shows he can play there. Hell, he even had Tennessee in a playoff game, and if it wasn't for terrible play calling, right? It's fourth and long, and you throw a ball that's not even close to the line. Who knows what would have happened in that game? And then, like you said, you come here off the pine and you win. It's like Pittsburgh. What didn't go wrong? Like what went wrong there with Josh Dobbs? You got to ask that question.
Yeah. It's probably just all the system, and I mean, man, he's just been balling of late, taking that momentum from Tennessee into this year. Next game we got on the slate, we got the Washington Commanders going into New England and winning a close one, 20-17 against the Patriots. As Sam Howell, 29-45, 325 yards, a touchdown, one interception on the day. And then Mac Jones, 24-44, 220 yards, one touchdown, one interception, and a costly one at the end, which really wasn't his fault because it was off the hands of Juju Schuster and right into the hands of the Commanders here as they squeak one out. And they were driving on that play. Ramondre Stevenson, 9 carries, 87 yards, one touchdown. Demario Douglas, Juju Smith-Schuster, both with over 50 yards. Hunter Henry with the lone touchdown for the New England Patriots. And then on the other side for Washington, Jahan Dotson with the lone touchdown grab for Washington. But how do you guys view this game? I'll start with TJ.
Oh, I think we both picked Washington to win this one, right? Izzy?
Yeah.
When we did the preview.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's just like other places. New England got questions to answer, right? Not even their fault. They did Mac Jones a disservice, like his second year, and he's still trying to bounce back from that. The Commanders I don't know what's going on over there with you trade away your top two edge rushers. It's clear that new ownership is sending a message that this ain't where we wanted to be at, and changes are being made. But if you're the Patriots, it's like, yeah, it's just another case of it was never the Patriot way, Christian. It was never the Patriot way. It was, we got Tom Brady and you don't.
Yeah, because remember what the discussion was the last couple of years. Who's more important to the Patriot dynasty? Is it Brady or is it Belichick? And everyone what did everybody say about Tom Brady when he was with New England, TJ?
Oh, it's Belichick.
He was the system guy, remember?
The system guy, yeah.
And then what happened his first year in Tampa Bay?
Super Bowl.
Thank you. He just didn't get them there. He won it.
He won it.
I'm not surprised that Washington almost gave this game up because that's just what they do. They build leads up to just almost tear it down and blow it apart. New England is 2-7. Like, I never thought I would see a Bill Belichick team at 2-7 after 9 games. Like, wow, is all I can say. And everybody wants to say Mac Jones is the issue there. He's part of the problem. What if they put around him out there in New England?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and I mean, you could say, because that defense is banged up. I think that defense started out on the year. I think they started off strong, but I mean, this defense has been okay at times, and sometimes they've looked really good. But to start the year, I thought this was going to be almost a top 10, top 5 type of defense the way they started, and I thought this would be a better year, but. New England just, has the problems offensively, and maybe getting Josh McDaniels back. Maybe what helped them out. I'm sorry, my bad, y'all. Anyways, moving on to the next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts going into Carolina and facing them, beating them 27-13. Gardner Minshew 17-26, 127 yards, 1 touchdown. This is just a defensive game right here. Bryce Young had a terrible game. 24-39, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and some of those interceptions just weren't even close. As the Indianapolis Colts come out with a win here. Assessments on this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, not much to say. I mean, this is
hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. Hey man, 2 pick sixes by the same dude.
Kenny Moore.
Yeah, 2 pick sixes by the same guy, man. Like that's Bryce Young. Hey, it's like I said, it's growing pains, man. It's you leaving the best O line you probably ever had in Alabama with a track team of receivers, and you go to the worst O line in the NFL. And not a track team of receivers where everybody's big, everybody's fast, and yeah, welcome to the NFL, man.
Hey, and they said it. Hey, not many 5'10", 190-pound quarterbacks succeed in the NFL, and he's showing that. Last long. And I will say, albeit he's talented, when he has an offensive line that he can he can see over, that can get. No, seriously, like Alabama. TJ brought up a great point. I mean, you got the best offensive line and almost one of the best offensive lines in college football. And when you can actually have lanes to see and throw, then you could be successful. But not with this offensive line, where you have absolutely no lanes to see. The pressure on you, I mean, it's all bad. It's all bad for Bryce Young. And right now, I know Carolina Panthers are feeling a little bit like, somewhat as like some Chicago Bears fans, as they missed out on a guy like Mitch Trubisky. But I like to say a guy like Pat Mahomes. But I want to say this: the disparity at draft day, or the gap between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud wasn't that big. So it was a okay. Do we want the 6'4" guy or the 5'10" guy with all the accolades?
And Izzy, the one thing that people fail to remember about that draft class, Deshaun Watson, Pat Mahomes, Mr. Trubisky, is there were analysts that had Mitch ranked ahead of both of them.
Mm-hmm. Both of them.
But they don't want us to remember that. They also don't want us to remember that nobody talked about Pat Mahomes in that draft class. It was Deshaun Watson and everybody else. Pat Mahomes wasn't even the best quarterback in his own conference. They was talking about Baker Mayfield next year while Pat Mahomes was getting ready to come out. But hey, they don't want us to remember that though. They don't want us. I just know Carolina. I just know a lot of Carolina Panthers fans. Really not feel. I mean, Carolina, and this kid could be a good quarterback. They just need a lot of work to do. They need to build the offensive line. Hey, Carolina, it's a rebuild.
Total rebuild.
It's like you got just like Washington. Y'all got new ownership. You got a new coach, right? Now I understand like things are off to a rocky start because, like we said, GM wanted one guy, head coach wanted the other guy, and the guy that the head coach wanted just threw for 500 yards and a game-winning touchdown. And the guy that GM wanted is out here struggling. Right?
Absolutely.
So
Nah, it's all bad down there in Carolina, but I think they'll and and they don't have a first round pick either, so it's pretty bad down there. Anyways, moving on to the next game, we got the New York Giants going into Vegas, into the Death Star, and going against the Raiders, dropping one 30-6 in a game that really was never close. Daniel Jones started the game 4-9, 25 yards, but ended up leaving the game with an apparent knee injury. Saquon Barkley also got a little banged up, I think second quarter, but he came back in the game, had a strong game, 16 carries, 90 yards, was probably the only strong point of this game, as this Vegas defense was just stifling in this game. Aiden O'Connell, 16-25, 209 yards. Josh Jacobs with the 2 touchdowns on the day, 26 carries, 98 yards. 2 back-to-back games, strong games by Josh Jacobs. But I think this is all about the Raiders defense, who had 8 sacks as a team in this game. I'll start with you, Christian. 8 sacks, 2 interceptions in this game. I'll start with you, Christian.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more that needs to be said. I'm gonna make the both of you laugh right now. You want to know how bad? Nah,
you can't laugh already. You can't start laughing.
No,
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
Listen, you want to know how bad the Giants are? They took this game off the air yesterday and played the rest of the Cowboys and Eagles.
I didn't know they did that. I didn't know you could do that.
For real. I didn't know you could do that.
Listen.
You talking about like locally? Like,
yes.
TJ.
Hey, TJ, should I say what Shannon said? Or you want to say
it? Oh God, you white me.
You need to stop.
Okay, so here's the thing. All right, there's nothing to confirm, or there's nothing the alleged about Daniel Jones' knee injury. It is confirmed. I mean, torn ACL for Daniel Jones. He's out for the whole season.
Torn ACL, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, real quick, just to go back to the Vikings, they can't catch a goddamn break, man. Like Cam Akers tore his Achilles, so it's just one hit after the other for the Vikings. All right, fast forward back here. Raider fans, first off, I hope you don't get caught up in the high off of this win. You played a guy named Tommy DeVito, who David asks, is he related to Danny DeVito? And we're like, no.
So, okay, so with that being said, is he related to Mariano Rivera?
Like, man.
That's my cousin. TJ. I say all the Riveras is my cousin.
TJ, you related to Bernard?
I wish. Shit.
Yeah. So that must
I wish I was related to Mariano Rivera.
So that must mean my black ass is related to yellow ass Homer.
But it's like, so I understand that. Hey, and Antonio Pierce, hey, he's a football guy, right? He's a football guy, and like he can relate to the players a lot of ways that Josh McDaniels couldn't. Josh McDaniels should never get a job, head coaching job ever.
Not in the NFL.
Again. Not in the NFL.
You know what he need to do? He need to do this. This is what Josh McDaniels need to do. He need to follow the Lane Kiffin, Lane Kiffin route, and take his ass down to college, and maybe he could have some success. The Chip Kelly route, and take his ass back down to college, and maybe he'll have some success in college.
But what's crazy?
He'll come back to the pro. The Nick Saban route. Remember Nick Saban?
Yeah.
Nick Saban?
Yeah. But what's crazy is they had 8 sacks in this game, and it's like, again, you played against a guy where Brian Daboll literally would not allow him to throw the ball the week before. So what did you expect to happen? All right, they break it out.
The Giants have taken
cigars.
The Giants have taken 1,000 steps back.
Well, that's what happens when you go from an easy schedule to a playoff schedule.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. We see this all the time. It's like, hey, this team won 9, 10, 11 games the year prior, but it's like, oh, they had a third place or last place schedule. Let's give them that second place schedule or that first place schedule and see what happens. This is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
It don't help that they also beat the hell. Daniel Jones is out. He was already out. Like, I don't think he should have came back anyway. Like, again, it's a neck injury. You never know where he's at with that. Saquon Barkley's in and out. Brian Daboll, like, he's getting a taste of what's his name? Bill Belichick went through for years with Tom Brady. Only difference is you don't have Tom Brady. It's
honestly
it's ugly, man.
I think Max Crosby should win DPOY
over Myles Garrett. You out your mind.
I know, man. I mean, it's close. It's close. He had 3 sacks in this game. What?
TJ, he's so damn disrespectful.
I'm not, man.
He's so disrespectful.
What is that team? What is that team with a look? Okay, what is that defense without Max Crosby, Christian?
You almost made
they
me
don't
hang
win.
Up. You
don't
almost
win.
made me hang up.
What is it?
They don't win.
No. But look at everybody else that's on Cleveland. They got studs across the board. What is that team and what is that defense without Max Crosby?
They don't win. They're literally the same. He don't impact the game like we think he does. They won this game, but bro, he literally got neutralized by one of the worst offensive lines in the league in Chicago. He had what? 1 sack against the Bears, against the backup QB, and it's like other than that, you didn't hear his name. He had 3 sacks this game. Come on,
all I'm saying is, man, he is playing on another level, and I understand 9.5 sacks. What is that? Is that that's got to be top 3 in the league? I don't know if that's number 1 in the league. Myles Garrett is on another level too. But look, Max Crosby, the Raiders are 4-5, man. They're 1 game behind the Cleveland Browns. I mean, I could make an argument for him. On here. Anyways, next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys and another thriller in a way here. Dallas Cowboys going into Philly in a much anticipated prime time game as Dallas Cowboys drop a close one to Philadelphia Eagles 23-28. Dak Prescott 29 of 44, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. Another great showing at the office here. CD Lamb 11 catches, 191 yards. Jake Ferguson 7 catches, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Tolbert had another touchdown, and Kevontae Turpin had another touchdown for them. And on the other side, Jalen Hurts 17-23, 7 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. AJ Brown kind of had a modest game, broke the 125 yard streak this week. 7 catches, 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Devontae Smith with an excellent, beautiful touchdown here in this game. 3 catches, 51 yards, 1 touchdown. As the Dallas Cowboys imploded and beat themselves in the end when it came down to it. It looked like Philly was going to give them this game with the penalties, and then Dallas beat themselves as they got into the red zone. TJ.
Yeah, it's a game of inches. It's a game of inches. Like that touchdown that the 2-point conversion that what's the tight end? Schoonmaker?
Yeah, Luke Schoonmaker. Well, that would have been a touchdown actually.
Oh yeah, the touchdown that he had.
And that was a hell of a goal line stand by the Eagles.
Had he run the route the way he was supposed to, which was like you got to run that route in the end zone. You can't run that short, otherwise you get what happened to you, right? You catch it, but your knee goes down outside the end zone, and you get called short. We eventually do score a touchdown, and you go for 2, and you think you get it with Dak Prescott on the scramble, but he steps out of bounds. Barely steps out of bounds, but he steps out of bounds. It's a game of inches, right? The Eagles, I forgot, they fumble the ball, right? They fumble the ball, and Michael Parsons misses it by an inch, where if he recovers it right there, you're basically on the 20-yard line. Like, you're right there. Instead, the Eagles recover it, and they punt it away, and you got to march down the field to get the go-ahead touchdown. Game of inches. Some questionable calls both ways. Like, Stephon Gilmore got called for I think defensive holding, which that was terrible. That was a bad call. That was a god awful call. It definitely felt like the Eagles, like the refs was trying to like low key, quote unquote, help the Eagles secure this game until you get to the last drive where it's like, what's his name? I think Hassan Reddick gets called for roughing the passer off a completed pass. That gives the Cowboys 15 more yards after the catch. You get a DPI on the underthrown ball. That's a spot foul. And like you said, Izzy, self implode. You get a false start. You get it, then you get sacked. Then the last play of the game, CD Lamb has nobody to lateral the ball to. It's him versus 5 Eagles, and he gets tackled right outside the red zone, and game over. Right? Dallas is going to win the rematch in Dallas. I predicted a home and home split anyway, but yeah, that's what's going to happen.
I predicted the score of this game would be 29-24. So I was 1 point off for each team. Someone, and TJ knows where I'm going with this. Someone we both know said that Dak Prescott played losing football in this game. Nah, Dak played well.
Dak played great.
This may be the best I've seen Dak look in back-to-back games, right? But it's not his. So is it Dak's fault that his guys couldn't catch the ball and that guys couldn't stop anybody on defense? The easy route for everybody is to blame the quarterback. It's almost like the quarterback is a scapegoat. This doggone Philly team, man, they find ways to win in different capacities. They are 8-1 for the second straight year. And I think they're going to hit their stride. I know it hasn't been great so far, but I think they're going to hit their stride down the stretch.
Yeah, man. I think you know what, man. Like I said, man, those Dallas Cowboys, man. They I think they do win one at home. TJ's right. I think this is a home at home. But wait a minute. I mean that I said it yesterday. The right side of that offensive line. I mean, it hasn't been good all season. You went from one of the best offensive lines for many years in football to having replacing those guys that got old. TJ said it real fast. To guys that can't block. So I think priority, even though Dallas Cowboys is going to make the playoffs, they're going to go, maybe they may win a playoff game or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think priority number one for Jerry Jones is to retool that offensive line and protect Dak in a way. I mean, he got sacked 5 times against this Eagles team. And I mean, it's a good Eagles front seven. I mean, they get guys in and out and they all can rush the passer. But I mean, Dak, 5 sacks, and it's a problem every time with that right side offensive line. It's where majority of the penalties come from. So they're going to have to, fix up some things in the offseason. Next game we got on the slate, and the last game got on the slate is Sunday Night Football as the Buffalo Bills went into Cincinnati, Ohio to face the Cincinnati Bengals, losing 24-18. Josh Allen, 26-38, 258 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, with the one lone touchdown to Stephon Diggs there towards the end of the game, as he had 6 catches, 86 yards, 1 touchdown. And again, the Buffalo Bills just could not get the ground game going. 16 carries, 68 yards on the ground. Josh Allen was actually the leading rusher with 8 carries for 44 yards and 1 touchdown. And on the other side, Joe Burrow is looking like Joe Burrow, as the Cincinnati Bengals look like they are probably one of the top teams in the AFC, next to Baltimore, next to the Chiefs. Man, yes, 31-44, 348 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon with the lone touchdown on the ground, 14 carries, 37 yards. T. Higgins with a nice showing, 8 catches, 110 yards, and then the 2 touchdowns from Drew Sample and a nice showing from Irv Smith Jr. Way to get out the snide and get his first touchdown of the season. With the 1 catch that he had. Thoughts on this game? I'll start with Christian.
Yeah, this Bills team is just weird because
you said they weird.
They are weird. They are. Am I wrong?
No.
Think about it. After they lost to the Jets, they went 3 in a row, and I remember telling the both of you, I think they finally turned the page because they're establishing James Cook, and they're not depending on Josh Allen to do what? Play hero ball, put the cape on, come out the phone, come out the phone case, and be a hero. But now it just seems like after the Jacksonville game, they've really come back down to reality. They play down to the Giants, and if we're being real here, they should have lost to the Giants. New England punches them in the mouth. They didn't look all that great against Tampa Bay, and then obviously they didn't look good yesterday against the Cincinnati Bengals. They're dependent on Josh to do too much of everything, and David said it best. This is the reason why they haven't advanced, because by the time they get to the playoffs, Josh Allen is burned out. As far as Cincinnati, man, Cincinnati is coming into form. Joe Burrow is looking like the Joe Burrow that we've become accustomed to seeing. Jamar Chase, I mean, look, nickname is 7-Eleven for a reason. He always over.
Always over.
And in the words of Deion Sanders, he ain't hard to find. They're beginning to establish Joe Mixon a little bit more, and I love what this Bengals defense did yesterday. They pretty much ran the same formations that they did in the playoff game in Buffalo, rushing 3, rushing 4, not blitzing, and still being able to win on the outside with those cornerbacks and keep a safety high and keep a spy in the middle of the field. So this is a huge win for the Bengals. They've won 4 in a row. I told people, don't let them get 1. And look at what happened. 1 turned to 2, 2 turned to 3, 3 turned to 4. This team is hot right now. This is a team I wouldn't want to face. They're starting to click.
So 2 things. One, the run that why is his name escaping me? Joe Mixon had to seal the game. They missed a hold on, I think Jamar Chase is number 5, right?
No, that's T. Higgins.
T. Higgins. They missed a hold on him, right? Because he run blocking, and the Buffalo Bills defender, he's trying to break away to make a tackle, and yeah, they missed a hold on him. So again, referees, if a guy at home can see the missed hold and you're right there, what are you looking at? That's just clear. Hey, we trying to get the hell up out of here. That's all that is. And the play where I think it was either Gabe Davis or the slot guy where the ball hit his hand and he caught it off the tip of his hand. They said it hit the ground. That was a catch for Buffalo. Again, the guy at home can see that the ball clearly hits the top of his hand and he catches it off the tip. And Davis like, why are they challenging that? Because I'm like, that's a catch. That didn't hit the ground. And because they called, and again, the refs, the league don't want to say that their guys are wrong, so they got to side with their guys. I hate that. That touchdown we saw to Stephon Diggs, outside of it being beautiful, and the 2-point conversion. Hey, first off, Stephon Diggs, he ignorant as hell. He ran into the
security guard. Told him, man, hey, get the dog off my leg.
He ran to the security guard. He said, man, get your ass up.
I don't blame him, though. You know what? I was yelling. I was arguing with somebody on Instagram about this. I said, man, look at everybody else. All the security guards. They all looking towards the field. I assume that once a team is in the red zone, they say, okay, turn around, kind of be mindful and look into the field so the players don't fall. This dude is looking dead in the field like this. And you talking about a good 300 plus coming on your leg.
Yeah, homie was big.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but like the reason that was allowed to happen was because on that drive, Josh Allen, it wasn't just Josh Allen to Diggs. It was Josh Allen to Dalton Kincaid. It was Gabe Davis. It was the slot guy. It he spread it the wealth to the point where the Bengals was like, damn, we can't just zero in on Stephon Diggs. We gotta actually play defense against everybody, and that allowed Stephon Diggs to go 1-on-1. And yeah, Stephon Diggs 1-on-1 with anybody. Yeah, I like my chances. I like my odds.
Absolutely, I like my odds. And
the pick that Josh Allen threw, that was just a bad pick, bro. That was terrible. Like, you can't.
No. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And even check this one out. So I'm over here. I'm watching some basketball. I just got league pass. I'm over here enjoying.
Hey, how much is that?
Whatever. Huh?
How much is that? Oh no,
It's like $14-15 a month, but I got 3 months free for betting on FanDuel, right? So
love.
I'm over there watching League
Shut
Pass
up,
on my
Kristen.
computer. Look, check it out. I'm over there watching League Pass on my computer because I'm trying to catch up on the Cavs. I was watching the replay of the Cavs and the Warriors game,
Right.
and Josh Allen is over there at the press conference, and my girl's in the other room, and she goes, he must not like his team, and I was like, why you say that? Because he putting the blame on everybody else, and then I thought about it, and I said, man, every time these guys lose, he want to talk about how there's a bunch of selfish players in the locker room and we don't got enough team players. But when you're the leader, you have to take responsibility, take accountability. You made bad plays down the stretch too, Josh Allen. You made some questionable throws too down the stretch, and that's my thing with Josh Allen. And that's the difference between a guy like Josh Allen and a guy like Pat Mahomes. A guy like Pat Mahomes might take more accountability. A guy like Josh Allen's not taking any accountability for these losses when his quarterback play down the
That's
stretch
not
has been
true.
bad.
That's not true.
I'm just saying.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not. All right, Stephen A. Smith, with the kid altar off from Snapchat when they. Yeah, that's not true. That's not true. No, Josh Allen does more than hold himself accountable. Like he does it more than people like you give him credit for. The whole he will be the first one to say, "Yo, I have to play better. I have to play." Like he does that a lot. He does that more than people give him credit for.
He didn't do it yesterday. I'll say that.
I gotta hear the comment because I ain't hear it. I ain't.
Yeah, because I remember after the Jets game, he said, "I'm the reason why we lost this game.
Thank you.
I have to play better.
I have to play better."
All right. I'll take it. But last night, my man was talking about he had some selfish teammates and some guys that weren't trying to hold themselves accountable. So I guess as a leader, he's trying to put out some accountability on his teammates that probably were pointing the fingers down out there in the locker room. So that's that. But the Bills do got to play better if they want to take it to another level. They got to play better. And like I said, man, hey, they're a weird team.
Like Chris, 5-3.
5-4 now.
5-4 after yesterday.
Yeah. And last night,
on the road. They cannot win on the road, TJ. And when they are 1-3 on the road this year.
Yeah, and if they had won that game last night, they would have been in first place because Miami lost. You remember they beat Miami, so they own that head-to-head tiebreaker over the Dolphins.
Yeah, and this is a team that's has to learn how to win on the road. I think they'll find their stride, but they have to kind of look in the mirror. And the Cincinnati Bengals, man, they just been playing some really great football since early in the season.
The thing that irks me about the Bengals, and I understand they get a quote unquote pass because Joe Burrow was hurt. But the thing I hate about them, and it's been the common thing with them since Joe Burrow's been there, is the slow starts. The slow starts in September and October. You can't keep affording to do that because one of these days you're going to get too far behind and catch up won't be an option. Because one of these days, like we say about like Christian said about Josh Allen, one of these days Joe Burrow is not going to be able to go into the phone booth and turn into Superman. One day he gonna walk in that phone booth as Clark Kent and walk back out as Clark Kent, and the Bengals gonna come up short. So they got to find a way to stop with the slow starts because now they're 5-3. They're playing catch up, but look at the head start that the Baltimore Ravens have on them. Baltimore is 7-2 and should be 9-0. Look at how much extra work the Bengals have to do to catch them. Like you go from getting a home game, if you win, like you get a home game and win in the division and possibly a first round bye to now you at best, if things continue to go the way they are, you're a wild card team, and you got to go to somebody.
Absolutely.
And I understand that, hey, you've made it to the Super Bowl as a wild card team, but once again, one of these days, real soon, the slow start gonna come back to bite you in the ass. It's gonna come back to bite you in
I
the
agree.
ass.
I agree. I agree. But I mean, this year they looking like they're coming back, looking like a top tier team. The way they've been playing the last few weeks, Joe Burrow looks healthy. Doesn't look like he's got that calf injury that isn't bothering him anymore. And looks like T Higgins is back healthy. And him and Jamar Chase, hell of a 1-2 punch there. Catching the football for the
So
Cincinnati
that's a
Bengals.
hell of a one,
Anyways,
two, three punch, man.
yeah. But yeah, anyways, yeah, with also Tyler Boyd. Anyways, that's been a wrap, man, for week 9. As we got one more game here coming on the slate that's already underway between the Chargers and the Jets. Who you guys got before I close this out?
I like the Chargers. I just
I
think
like the
across.
Chargers.
Yeah, I just think across the board, they have too many offensive weapons, and I just don't know if the Jets have offensive firepower to keep up with them.
Well, Garrett Wilson just fumbled, so
Yeah, they're up 7. They're up 7-0. I think the first touchdown was like an 89-yard punt return for a touchdown.
yep.
In the game. So off to a good start so far for the Chargers. But anyways, please like, share, subscribe to the podcast here at Fine Sports World on
It's a
Facebook, YouTube,
parade
and Twitch.
inside my city, said the Las Vegas Raiders, because they are partying ever since Josh McDaniels got fired.
Man, Josh McDaniels, hey,
Did y'all hear
take
the
the lane,
report?
take the
Did
Lane
y'all hear
Kiffin
the-
route. Take the Lane
did y'all-
Kiffin route.
Y'all
But
hear
just
the,
don't come to Notre Dame with it though.
y'all hear the alleged? Hey, y'all ain't firing Marcus Freeman. Be respectful.
No, I know we not firing Marcus Freeman, but I'm just saying.
Why the black man? Why the black man gotta lose his job? Is he? Why the black man gotta lose his job?
First of all, I like Marcus Freeman, but
Uh,
I was a little bit questionable on him because he's cut from that cloth from the previous regime.
Christian, it don't sound like he like Marcus Freeman.
No, he likes
Hey.
Marcus Freeman. No, he does.
I like Marcus
I'm
Freeman.
just,
I
I'm
like
just,
Marcus
talking, I'm
Freeman.
just talking this.
Yeah, I
But
know.
like-
I know, man.
But he cut from that Brian Clough. That Brian, he got to shake off
Brian
the
Kelly?
cobwebs from Brian Kelly. Yeah, that losing mentality.
Hey,
Yeah.
but look up the report about what's going on. What happened that led to the firing of Josh McDaniels. Apparently, there was a team meeting where Josh McDaniels allowed the players to basically just go off on him, voice their frustrations that they have with him. And Antonio Pierce went up and told a story about the was he on both Super Bowl teams, Christian, or just the first one?
I think he was on both, if I'm not mistaken.
But I think he
he was
told a
on
story.
both. He was on both Super Bowl teams.
I think he
Yeah,
told
he
a
was on
story
both.
about the 07 Giants, the one that ended the perfect run. And Josh McDaniels ain't really like that. Josh McDaniels, quote unquote, pulled him to the side and was like, hey, don't ever talk about me or the Patriots like that again. And Antonio Pierce was like, do you know who I am? I beat that team. Like, I was on the team that beat that team. I can talk whatever I want to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a fool, and you know what? Hey, you're gone fishing. 1, 2, 3, Cancun
Cancun on
for
3, 1, 2,
Josh
3.
McDaniels.
Cancun,
But anyways,
Cancun
guys,
on me. 1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Cancun. Please catch us. Where all streaming platforms where podcasts can be heard. I dropped the link down there in the comment section, and catch out the Daily Blitz blog by Christian Simpson here, as he's on here every week. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for our week 9, for our week 10 preview, and covering also Monday Night Football as well, as the Chargers and the Jets are playing and underway right now. But anyways, as I like to say and like to get off, man, Prime Sports brings the heat 24/7. And if I miss you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
And Izzy, I'm gonna say it here like I do on Friday nights. Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy. Peace out, guys. Check you guys out tomorrow, and hope you guys have a good evening.
I'll holla